In this video, I'm going to share with you how our homeschool schedule and routine has drastically changed over this past year. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and this is A Common Life. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids ages 4 through 12, and we have had a very eventful homeschool year. I've already shared all about that in another video, so I will not get into that right now. I'll link to that video up above for you so that you can check it out. But today I just wanted to kind of chat with you and explain how our schedule and routine has changed over the years. And the reason that I want to do this is because I know that some of us really thrive on a schedule and some of us really thrive on a routine, and other people kind of don't even want either of those. And that's perfectly fine. That's one of the great things about homeschooling is you can just kind of make it work for yourself, whatever you think is best for you and your family. And for us, we have definitely changed a lot over the years. So I thought by sitting down and kind of talking through it with you, you could kind of get some ideas of how you could have a schedule or a routine in your homeschool. You could either learn from our mistakes or see that some of these things actually work really well for you if they didn't work well for us, because like I said, we're all so different. And so I'm just going to sit down and share all of those with you today. Now, I have made several videos over this past year, so I'm going to be linking to all of those for you either down in the description box or up in the iCard so that you can see those videos and kind of get some ideas on how you could create a schedule or a routine for your family. So first of all, back in August, we followed a very structured schedule, and I did a video about it. I will link it up above, and it just really did not work for us. It wasn't meeting my child's needs. I wasn't able to focus enough on each child, and it didn't work well. Now, I say all that, but there are a lot of people who that type of routine and schedule would work really, really well for them. Maybe you are the type of family who can do very well with timers, and you can say, okay, you have 15 minutes for this assignment. We're going to get 15 minutes of this workbook or whatever it is done, and then we're going to move on. That's great. If you have kids that can do that, that are very structured but also flexible and able to kind of switch from one thing to another, then this type of schedule would be really, really great for you because you have certain increments of time, you get that work done, and then you move on to something else. And so, we have used that type of schedule in the past, and it has sometimes worked well, but overall for us, it doesn't work well because my kids like to finish things. They like to complete full assignments, and sometimes they like to do even more than the completed assignment. And so for us, it just didn't really work well. So in October, I created a revised schedule or routine. I kind of called it more of a routine because I wanted to focus more on just like that home routine kind of like feel where you aren't locked down to a schedule. Because one of my biggest mistakes that I have made since we started homeschooling was that I always felt like I had to have our homeschool kind of like boxed into a certain time frame, and that was all we could do. So if we had an appointment, or if we had a field trip, or if we had a play date or something like that, I could never just like pick up where I left off, and it was not good. It was not a good way to work for us. It didn't work well. And so I decided I would create kind of this routine where these are all the things that we want to do, these are the things that we want to complete, and we're going to kind of work toward getting all of those done. So I'll link to that video as well up above for you so you can check it out and maybe see if that would work better. I don't feel like the two schedule and routine were all that different from one another. Some of it I feel like was a mindset for me. I needed to kind of change my thinking about it. I needed to not feel boxed in. I needed to feel like we could be more flexible and we could just kind of loosely follow this routine rather than feeling that we had to do things in set blocks of time. But then everything fell apart when we dropped out of the co-op, basically beginning of December. Everything changed. And so for us, we had to just completely redo all of everything. Our entire homeschool year, we had to completely redo, especially for my older 2 children who just completed 6th and 5th grade. We had to just redo everything for them. And so that was a lot of reworking, and it took a while to get that figured out because they started to attend the cottage school. I have videos about that. I'll link to it up above for you so you can see what the cottage school is. And that changed their schedule. I mean, alone, they were going to the school 2 days a week. So that alone completely changed our schedule. It changed everything. So we just revamped the way our entire homeschool year was going to look. And for them, it honestly took, I would say, at least a month for us to figure out how to make sure that they were getting all of their schoolwork done on those 3 days when they were not at the school. Because the school was meeting on Wednesdays and Fridays. So they had that random Thursday and then the Monday and the Tuesday following to get their work done. And it took a little while for us to kind of get that into our heads, that type of routine. Because a lot of times they just felt like, oh, I don't have a lot of work to do on Thursday because it's almost the end of the week. But in reality, they had all their work that they needed to get done for the Wednesday class, and they were leaving a lot of it until Monday or Tuesday and being completely overwhelmed by tons of work that they needed to complete in just 2 days, and it really didn't work well. And so they finally figured out how to kind of divide up 3 days of work evenly from Thursday, Monday, and Tuesday. That way on Wednesday, when the kind of new school week actually started, they had all of that stuff completed. So that was a little bit of a juggling act for a little while. And also for my younger children who were home with me, we completely revamped the way that we were doing everything. We had been using Bookshark last year, and I decided that we would take the Wednesday when the older 2 kids were at the school to do Bookshark. Rather than doing it as a 4-day-week program, which is the way that it is designed, we did it in 1 day for both reading with history and science all in 1 day. And it worked really well. Honestly, it worked great for us. And then on the other days, they were doing all of their other subjects. And so it was a different schedule. It probably was definitely not my favorite routine or schedule that we've ever had before, because some days felt very discombobulated, especially in May. Well, actually, let me go back a little bit. In February, we added brain training to the mix, which required us to be at the brain training facility Monday, and for a while, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we were there for 3 hours all of those days. And then eventually we were able to kind of get rid of the Tuesday and add some time to the other days. So that changed everything too, because then we were just losing hours. I was able to get the older children to bring their homeschool work there and get a lot of it done. But my son David was doing brain training. So he had about an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half, to kind of get some work done. So it was just a weird schedule. Brain training has been absolutely wonderful, and I'm so glad that we are doing it, but it was a challenge just to kind of fit everything in. And then in May, we added swim team. And so that, having just a couple of weeks where it was school, homeschool, well, school and homeschool combined, brain training and swim team all at the same time, was just crazy. Thankfully, it was short-lived. The school was done mid-May, and now we're just basically kind of finishing up homeschool work and doing brain training and swim team. So yeah, our schedule has been all over the place, completely inconsistent this year. It has been the absolute strangest homeschool year for us. It has been like no other year before. So I just wanted to share all of that with you today to let you know that even if your schedule goes absolutely crazy and your year is kind of all over the place, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that your homeschool isn't thriving, because my kids are thriving. They've done all of their schoolwork. They are scoring fantastically on their standardized testing. They are above their grade levels. They're just doing really, really well, even though we kind of had a crazy year where things were constantly changing. And I personally think that change is not good for children in that way. Consistency is good, especially as far as schooling is concerned, but giving them that challenge and that independence that we were able to give some of them has been an incredible, incredible gift to them. And so we're really grateful that we were able to do that this year, but we are very, very much looking forward to the next school year, where things will be much more structured and we will not be changing things up. We will have them all in the same places throughout the entire school year. We will stick to just one curriculum and not switch halfway through the year and do different curriculum for different subjects. It will be much better. So I cannot wait until mid-August when we start school again, and it is going to be a really, really wonderful year. I have done a video all about the big, huge changes that we are making in that year, so I will have that linked to up above. I'm linking a lot of videos up above for you, but I've got a lot of things that I want to share with you guys. So please check out that video so you can kind of see what our plans are for the upcoming school year, because it is going to be a year like no other year before. If you have any questions for me regarding scheduling or anything like that, I will have all of these videos that I have talked about in the description box down below. I will also share how I have set up my children's homework assignment sheets and things like that, because that might be really helpful as well. If you are trying to have kids who are more independent learners do their work, but you want to have structure, that's a great way to do that. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy videos like this, and have a great day.